Dubai South real estate in 2026 just got much harder to ignore. A reported 62 billion dirhams mixed-use community plan tied to Dubai South and Majid Al Futtaim is the kind of signal that can change how serious investors rank the district. But this is also where buyers make expensive mistakes, because a major headline can lift weak stock and strong stock into the same marketing wave. If you want Astra Terra Properties to help you compare Dubai South projects against JVC, Al Furjan, Dubai Creek Harbour, or other value corridors, message us on WhatsApp early. In a more selective market, disciplined comparison creates a real edge. Welcome to Astra Terra Properties. In this video, I am breaking down Dubai South Real Estate 2026, what the new 62 billion dirham community signal actually means, why the airport corridor matters more than generic launch hype, where the strongest opportunity likely sits inside Dubai South, and how serious investors should filter the area now. Let's start with the headline. The fresh catalyst is a reported 62 billion dirhams mixed-use community plan connected to Dubai South and Majid Al Futtaim near Al Maktoum International Airport. Even before you get carried away with the scale, the important takeaway is simple. A major mixed-use plan in that corridor signals confidence in the district's next phase of residential and commercial absorption. That matters because Dubai South is no longer only a long-range infrastructure story. It is becoming a more concrete master plan demand story built around aviation, logistics, employment, housing, and lifestyle scale in the same corridor. And that signal does not stand alone. The National also reported that Emirates broke ground on a $5.1 billion engineering complex in Dubai South. That is a far more meaningful demand driver than a generic launch headline, because employment-led infrastructure creates the real human demand that supports housing, rentals, retail, and daily community life. Now layer that into the city-wide market picture. Dubai Land Department said Q1 2026 real estate transactions reached around 252 billion dirhams, up 31% year-on-year, across 60,303 transactions. So Dubai still has enough capital, investor participation, and liquidity for credible growth corridors to reprice when real catalysts appear. At the same time, the wider market is more selective than it was during the hottest phase. Valustrat's Q1 review showed the first quarterly price decline since 2020, but residential values were still up about 8.9% year-on-year. That combination matters. This is not a collapse. It is a market that is forcing buyers to choose more carefully. And in a selective market, infrastructure-backed locations with a clear economic purpose usually deserve more attention than outer districts running mainly on brochure momentum. That is why Dubai South is becoming more interesting again. But let me be very clear. This does not mean every Dubai South launch is suddenly a winner. When a district gets a major headline, weak stock often rides the same marketing wave as strong stock. The right move is not to buy the story. It is to buy the right asset inside the story. So, what actually makes Dubai South different from many other future growth districts? It is one of the few areas where airport-led infrastructure, logistics employment, large-scale community formation, and residential stock can reinforce each other over time. Al Maktoum International Airport is the macro anchor. Add aviation, engineering, warehousing, retail, and large community capital around that anchor, and the housing story becomes more believable. That still does not guarantee immediate price spikes. Large-scale districts often develop in phases, and investors can overpay when they confuse long-term strategic value with short-term resale certainty. So, I would separate the thesis into two questions. First, is the corridor getting stronger? I think yes. Second, does that make every unit in the corridor attractive? Absolutely not. Where is the strongest opportunity likely to sit inside Dubai South? Usually where infrastructure access and everyday usability overlap. In practical terms, that means looking hardest at communities with cleaner access to the airport corridor, genuine family usability in the Emaar South-style mold, and products that can appeal to both owner-occupiers and tenants rather than only speculative off-plan buyers. I would also separate apartment plays from townhouse and villa plays. Apartments can work when pricing stays rational, and the building has real tenant logic for professionals, aviation-linked workers, and younger households who want a newer district at a lower entry point. Villas and townhouses can work when the community genuinely offers schools access, green space, mobility, and enough daily services to support family life rather than just investor excitement. That distinction matters because Dubai South is not one homogeneous product. Some stock will age into strong value because it sits in the path of real demand. Some stock may stay more promotional than practical. In 2026, that gap matters much more than it did when buyers were chasing almost any growth narrative. If I were advising a client today, I would use 4 filters. First, is the project in a part of Dubai South that will benefit from real movement and daily life, not just future promises? Second, does the developer have the credibility to deliver into a more selective market? Third, would the unit still be rentable or sellable if price growth slows? Fourth, does the entry price still make sense against alternatives in JVC, Al Furjan, Dubai Creek Harbour, or selected outer Dubai Hills inventory? That comparison matters a lot. Dubai South is not competing only with central luxury districts. It is competing with other value and growth corridors that already have clearer rent visibility, stronger established communities, or faster resale recognition. So the question is not just price per square foot. The question is which district has the clearer next stage demand engine. This is where many investors get too simplistic. They assume airport proximity alone makes every nearby property a winner. It does not. The right corridor access helps. The wrong product still struggles. Some of the best opportunities in Dubai South will likely be the homes that combine transport logic with real community quality. That is a much smaller universe than the marketing suggests. So what can go wrong? Buyers can overpay for headline excitement. They can ignore service charges, developer quality, tenant depth, and resale audience. They can assume all future infrastructure gets priced in immediately. And they can forget that a more selective market rewards patience more than speed. My view is simple. Dubai South is getting stronger. The new 62 billion dirham community signal matters. Emirates' $5.1 billion engineering complex matters. The citywide transaction base still supports credible repricing. But the strategy is not to widen your filter. It is to sharpen it. If you want Astra Terra Properties to help you compare Dubai South opportunities based on budget, hold period, tenant depth, and risk-adjusted exit logic, visit Astra Terra AE or message us on WhatsApp today. And for your next watch, go to our Dubai apartment market breakdown or our off-plan versus ready guide.